Welcome back. This is Steph from Cold Blooded Freaks, and in today's episode, we are doing another Ballin' on a Budget, and these are so fun. For this one, we are talking about Monarch pairs. So, for those of you that have not seen a Ballin' on a Budget episode, this is where I hop onto MorphMarket and I find some pairs that would work out pretty well and get a quick return on your investment, potentially. Without further ado, let's hop onto MorphMarket. So the first animal we are talking about is a pastel het monarch female. She is posted for 400 bucks and currently her weight is at 400 grams. I do think she might be more than that, but that's just a hunch. This is produced by Ball Python Investments. Ironic, but very cool. The fact that she has some good weight to her is a good sign, and the fact that she's relatively cheap for the project, awesome. And the males that I have picked out for her, I got two options for her, so let's get to those. The first male I have picked out is just a simple, normal het monarch. And the reason why I picked him out is because he has a little bit of weight to him, and he's only 100 bucks. So this guy is produced by LSD Morphs, and he is about 320 grams, and that's a pretty good price for a het monarch male. He will be of size, breeder size, of course, before the female is, but still, I think it's a great pair. If you wanted to get into Monarch for a very cheap price, you're looking at $550 to get in it, plus shipping, so maybe $100 more or so. Not bad to get into the Monarch project. Moving on to the second male for this female, which is a leopard 100% het monarch. And this guy is only 250 grams. So you do get a little bit of an extra gene in there. So you could potentially make pastel leopard monarchs, which I think would probably look really cool since monarch loves to show off its purple hues in dark colorations. So the leopard pattern might be really cool with monarch. So this is an awesome pair for sure. And this male is sitting at 460 grams, so he's a little bit heavier than the other male. So you might be able to pair him to other females and make possible het monarchs. Not a bad male to have in the collection for sure. So with the female pastel het monarch and this guy, you're looking about $650 for the pair. But shipping again is probably another additional 100 bucks because they're from two separate breeders. So the next group of animals that I found on MorphMarket are in honor of something that I saw on Instagram from Maddox Morphs. They posted this absolutely stunning monarch clown spot nose. And this animal is an adult. And it's beautiful and it's super bright colorations, and the monarch giving it those purple hues and the clown giving it those yellow hues. It just looked very nice, and clown historically doesn't age the best, but monarch does. And adding that monarch with the spot nose and the clown, it just looks absolutely stunning as a full-grown adult. And I decided I would hop onto MorphMarket to see what I could find you guys so you can make the same thing. So moving on to our first animal to make this combination. And this is a beautiful female. She is currently on sale at the point that we recorded this. So she might not be on sale once you guys see this, but she is currently up for sale for $875. And she is from Royal Constrictor Designs. So maybe you guys can talk to him and keep his discount. Don't know, but he's a great guy and it's worth talking to him. And this female is 620 grams already. So she is well started. She's about a little less than halfway to technical breeding size. So she's still got some time on her, but good start for the project because she is het monarch and het clown. The first male that I found for this female would be a spot nose double het monarch clown, and it is $250. This male is produced by CPR Exotics and is sitting at 100 grams. So he's a baby. The female still has time, but by the time the female is of size, so will the male. So a great combination, a great pairing. You'll be able to produce that beautiful animal. In theory, your odds are a little bit on the low side, but it's still possible to make that beautiful animal that you guys saw of the beautiful spot nose monarch clown. So very cheap way to get into it. It's a little over $1,000, but I do have a more expensive option that is a really cool looking animal that I'm going to show you next. The second male that I picked out for this female, like I said, is a little bit more on the pricey side and is going to definitely push your budget a little bit higher than $2,000 for sure. So this male is a spot-nosed clown het monarch. And this is produced by Fallen Angels Reptiles, which we actually have a snake from, and they were an absolute present. And they were an absolute pleasure. Oh my God. And they were an absolute pleasure to deal with. So this animal is sitting at $1,500. And it's only 124 grams. So it's still a young baby, but again, that female still needs some time. And this male would just kind of ramp everything up because now you're going to make clowns and your odds are higher because once you start having two recessives, your odds kind of lower. So you do have to spend more if you want your odds to be in your favor. But there doesn't mean that you can't produce a double recessive visual. It's possible, but this helps move that along a little bit for you. The last male I picked out for this female is probably because I really like calico. I'm not really sure. But this is a male that is a calico yellow belly 100% double het monarch clown. And he's currently on sale again at the filming of this at $420. And again, he is from Royal Constrictors Designs. And I just like his patterning in this post. He's very funky looking, and I haven't seen Monarch with calico yet. So kind of interested just on a personal thing, but another way to get into it with a very cheap, inexpensive way. You're looking closer to the probably $1,500 range with shipping and everything added in if you got that female and this male versus those other males that are a little bit more on the heavy side. So this male is sitting at 390 grams, so he is well started compared to the other two males that we were talking about. So that is also something else to consider because you can also technically, if you wanted to, breed him to some of your other females and get monarch, potential het monarchs and potential het clowns mixed into your groups. So before I move on to another combination, I wanted to point out that there is a young pair available on MorphMarket from KC Live Innovation. And this pair is $450. Granted, they are 2025s. It doesn't say their weights currently, but it is a 1.1 pairing. So it's a pastel butter double het monarch clown, possible het hypo, to a normal double het monarch clown, also possible het hypo. If you wanted to, you can get into this pair fairly cheap. So you're thinking maybe shipping's another $50 to $100. So $550 you'll say, and then you have a couple years to wait. But the return on your investment could be very, very good because if you were able to prove these guys out to be het hypo, you can make monarch hypo clowns that are also possibly pastel butter, add some extra genes in there. That is a great deal, but again, they're just very young, so it is something that you have to consider when you get into pairs like this because you definitely want to test them, in my opinion, to see if they are het hypo, because then you can kind of see where the trend is going, and you can see if you are going to produce potential hypos that are visual hypo monarch clowns, which would be absolutely awesome for that price. Moving on to another monarch combo. So this is a fire mahogany double het monarch pied from Canova. And this female is $1,500. So she does have a hefty price tag and it doesn't have a weight on here. So not exactly sure, but she was produced in 2024. So she's got to be at least in the, I would say, 300 gram range roughly, but the male that I have picked out for her is the best part. The male is a black pastel pied het monarch, and he's $500. So you can make black pastel mahogany pied monarchs. That would have to be a really, really interesting looking animal because, like I said, Monarch seems to love to show those purples through those dark colorations. And when you put black pastel and mahogany together, you're going to get a very dark looking animal, or at least very purple colorations really showing through with that monarch. And then you have the pied aspect. So with mahogany, you tend to be a little bit more pattern with the pieds than you do with black pastel. So you get that balance a little bit there. And you can have I would just imagine it would be very purple with a little bit of those orange colorations kind of wiring through a little bit, and the white breakup in between. I think it could look really cool. I hope that it wouldn't be super, super high white. I don't think so, but it's possible, especially if you make a black pastel pied monarch. And then the other drawback in this pairing is that there is a possibility that fire could kind of lower the intensity of that beautiful monarch coloration. So fire and things like fire and Enchi aren't necessarily the best complements so far that I've seen for monarch. So that's also something to consider as well. The last pairing that we're talking about is a pastel spot nose female that is double het monarch puzzle. So I think that this has the potential to look really awesome. But this female is from Canova, and she does have a hefty price tag. She is $1,800. So she's not cheap, and she's kind of young. She is a 2024, and again, doesn't have a weight, but I'm sure, again, she's probably in that 300 gram, maybe even more. It does say that she's eating rats, so maybe she's a little closer to the 400 gram. So she does have some time. But the male I have picked out for her is on the inexpensive side. So possibly something that's more affordable, but let's get to the male. So I might have lied just like a little bit. I didn't mean to, but the male I found for this female is actually $1,250. He's more than I thought he was at first, but when you're a normal that's double het monarch puzzle, I'm guessing you're going to have that hefty price tag following behind you. This male is a baby. He is a 2025, and he is about 200 grams right now. So again, this pair is a heavy investment, but I just think back to that spot nose monarch clown that was just stunning and aged so well. Now this pairing, you could technically make a pastel spot nose monarch puzzle. And I would just imagine it's going to age just as well, if not better. So that's why I like this pairing, but it does come with a pretty hefty price tag. And you do have quite a bit of time to wait to be able to see if that pairing comes to fruition and looks as awesome as I imagine it would. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did. In the comments below, let me know what pair or pair combos you thought were the best. Also, I wanted to take a moment to thank all of our followers because our goal was to hit 1,000 followers by baby season 2025. And thanks to you guys, we hit it. So we really appreciate all the support. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.